Welcome to The Source with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry, and co-host Coby Owens. News all across the nation. The Source. Stay in the loop in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Work together for change in the community. A call to action to find the resources. The Source, the latest in news.
Good evening. This is Dr. Curry.
This is Coby Owens.
And welcome to The Source. Coby, it has been another week. I'm grateful to God that the Lord has spared Wilmington, Delaware, without any gun violence. This is just superb. This is unprecedented. And I'm very grateful. I don't even know how to ask a question to you at this point because I'm just grateful. I'm not looking forward to change. I'm not looking forward to shift. I don't believe in luck. I believe that the Lord that proper planning produces strong results. And I just think really we just have some good policing going on right now. And people are behaving themselves as well.
Yeah, I definitely think the community should get a clap, pat on the back as well, too. And again, it's you never know what may happen, but right now things have been very peaceful throughout the city.
Yeah, and I know we're not supposed to continue to harp on stuff, but you said on this show several times if we had another administration, I don't think that the murder rate would be where it is, and I think you have proven that case. Chief Campos has really done a phenomenal job with trying to be a part of the community. And not saying anybody is perfect, but he's done a phenomenal job of trying to be a part of the community. And I think the mayor has let him do his job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's really taken hold of that job and really rebuilt the morale of the police department.
Okay.
And people are proud to do their job, but then also they're happy to make those relationships in the community as well too, as they do their job.
Yeah, because and we said earlier, let's give a little hats off to the community as well, because they seem not to be as hot tempered, where they just want to shoot. But I agree that the community too should get some credit, because it seems like we are living in a calm phase. Do you think the gas price, I always try to find a joke, but do you think that the gas prices could be why people can't run up and down the street acting crazy now, or I don't know?
I don't know if it's gas or just how much everything costs altogether, but no, I think we haven't really had that hot of a spring just yet like we have in past years, and we don't know what the summer's going to bring, but I don't know if more people are outside or not right now.
Yeah, well, for those of you who are watching us, and I ask that you would please be mindful of your temperament. I think that plays a very strong role. Let's talk about it. Let's be our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. Let's reason together. I don't think everything should end in a bullet, and I also don't believe that you should kill a person because they may be in your territory. I believe that we can have a good community if we just talk to each other, we just reason with each other, because I think that's probably what's also adding to it now, is that people are starting to talk, and maybe their territory is not really their territory, because at the end of the day, the police department is doing a very good job with finding people, arresting them, and putting them in jail. And to be in jail does not satisfy anybody's needs. So hats off to the city of Wilmington, and we are very grateful that you are talking to each other, and that we don't have the high level of crime that we've had in the past. I also want to turn our attention to something that is very near and dear to my heart, but I'm very careful, and I know, Coby, I'm always careful to protect you as a city council person who is a part of the political realm. Not that you're afraid of any trouble, because you believe in the good trouble, but right now we are facing just a few days where they're going to do this eviction of the homeless over there. And I just wished, and this is me talking, for everybody who's listening, when you send the word back, Curry said this, not Coby, but I just wish that the homeless had better representation. Some of the individuals who are out there advocating for the homeless really has no credibility. And I mean, right now I saw some of the things that even Miss Darby, and I'm just going to call it out, and I don't care if she wants to put me on Facebook. It doesn't matter to me these days. But she's fought and burned so many bridges that people like me who want to jump in, who want to be a part of this, just don't want to be involved with that type of leadership. I mean, no institution, no church, no political party is so perfect. We need each other.
Yeah.
And there are times I disagree with you, but I'm not going to demonize you. I'm going to say, you know what, Coby, we disagree on this one, but we're going to find some other things that we can have common ground. And right now, we're sitting with just a few days that I think it was 30 people were placed
so far,
somewhere else. And we have, I don't know how many people are there. Do you know how many people are there?
About another 55.
So I hope we can find a place, but I just wished, and I'm saying it because I want the public to know that we had a different type of leadership out in the forefront, because I think that would help. That's just what I just believe.
Yeah, I think there's a few things going on. The timeline for when people have to move out the park has been accelerated. I think, we had a committee meeting the other day, and Kim Eppenheimer, the executive director of Friendship House, said it perfectly. She said that regardless of the timeline you put, once you sanction that park, any exit strategy is going to be 18 to 24 months to find the proper housing. Why? Because we just got done discussing the fact that there's not enough housing, there's not enough beds in the city of Wilmington, in the state of Delaware, in this country right now, right? So it takes time to get people in the proper housing situations so that they can get back on their feet. And again, I want to be very clear. The people down at Christina Park, they are from Wilmington and Delaware. Not all of them have mental health issues. Not all of them have substance abuse issues. A good number of them are actually working poor, working unhoused people, right? They have jobs. They just can't afford to live where things are right now, right? Where rent prices are and the housing market is right now. Some of us on council have been trying to work for a while to find solutions, right? Some of those solutions is finding additional money for some of these shelters so that they can take on more people, right? One of the best shelters in the state of Delaware is Sojourner's Place, which is in my district. I'm not just saying that because it's in my district, but I'm saying it because they have a different model than some other shelters. Some shelters allow you to be in there 30, 60, 90 days, right? That's not enough time to get back on your feet. The people who stay at Sojourner's Place are there for a longer term. They get back on their feet, they build their savings up, they're able to go back into the world. And I have talked to so many former residents of Sojourner's Place. The reason why that place is still running is because a lot of them go back and volunteer their time. They have amazing staff over there, but the volunteers that come back are usually people who graduated out of their program, who have now reestablished themselves in the community and have now the financial stability to give back as well too, right? Those are the type of programs where we should be putting money up for more permanent supportive housing. This is something that Councilwoman Christian Wilhauler from the 5th District and I put up in at the beginning of this budget cycle. We asked for this money. Councilwoman Wilhauler asked for $3 million. I asked for $5 million. But in our conversations with council members, Councilman Hackett, Councilwoman Darby, Council President Congo, they agreed. They said this is a good idea. This is something we should do. We should help our community. Had some really good conversations with Councilwoman Bracey and Councilman Johnson. But when it came to the rest, we got shut down. And I think, regardless of what happens on June 15th, homelessness in the city of Wilmington is still going to exist. I want to be very clear about that. There's still going to be people homeless throughout this city. There are currently people homeless throughout this city. Not everyone's in the park.
That's right.
So by evicting 55 people out the park, you're just spreading that back throughout the neighborhood. Where have we seen that before? When they came in and wanted to develop the riverfront, They moved all the homelessness out of the riverfront and then into the neighborhoods. We've seen this before, and that's exactly what's going to happen again.
Yeah, and I agree with you that it's going to take more time, and you have some shelters that are very much helpful. I think what everybody is missing right now is let me go back to the budget part that you talked about. For us not to put some money in to support good shelters was a mistake, and I'm going to just declare that and say it. But what we also need to start thinking about is, what is the state doing?
Yes.
I don't know what's happening. We can't put everything on the city. Some of these $3 council people, and that's what I'm starting to call them. I just don't have the confidence. I also don't have the people to run against these folks to be able to say, you know what, it's time for them to go. But somebody's going to rise up, and I believe it's going to start happening. But I really do believe that the state has a role in this as well. Our budget in the city of Wilmington is not to the level that it needs to be in order to support that type of social program. All humans matter. Some of the affordable housing money, can he divert some of that money to this program?
Oh, absolutely. Again, on the state level, they just got to win for students, right? So school-aged children and their families, to try to bring some stability, they just got an additional $800,000 for vouchers for them. And this is students who participate in the Kenny Vento program. They're homeless, but they still attend school, and there's special transportation and stuff. They broke down how many families that's going to help. That's going to help 55 families.
55?
55 families. But then in the same talking point, they broke down how many students by district are unhoused. Christina had the most with over 400. Then Red Clay, then Brandywine, then Appo, then some of the lower school districts, then the charter schools in Votech. But I think the total came to almost 1,400 total.
And they did enough for
55.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, I know funding is always going to be an issue that they talk about, saying we don't have enough money. We do.
We got enough money for everything else.
We have enough money for everything else. When you look at the overall state budget, yes, they got $800,000 back in, but they also stripped millions of dollars prior to that for homelessness services. The focus is moving down to Kent and Sussex. Again, yes, they have a huge issue. Yes, the state has come in and operates or helps funds the Springboard initiative down in Georgetown, which is doing amazing, but with their new mayor, is probably going to be changing pretty soon.
And why'd you say that?
Well, the mayor ran on, she was a part of the Make Georgetown Great Again.
Oh, gee.
So they were very anti-homeless down there. And her plan is to pack them up and ship them up to Wilmington because we're the hub. Everyone loves talking about Wilmington, but everyone hates Wilmington as well, too.
That's what all you coloreds are.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is the same mayor who fought when she was on council to get funding to fly the Confederate flag down there. So we already know where she stands. She just doesn't wear her hood no more.
Yeah.
But the state is focusing their funding down there. And I'm not saying that it's not important to focus down there, but when you have the vast majority of the population that is unhoused in Newcastle County, that's where the vast majority of your budget, it should almost be based upon the percentage of funds. If you have 60% of homelessness is in Newcastle County, 60% of your budget for homelessness should be focusing on Newcastle County.
Yeah.
And it's just not right now.
Yeah, I guess there's some conversation needs to be held with the state legislators, but also with the governor, because he directs the budget, and I just don't understand why Wilmington is being neglected to the level. Did we do something to this current governor? Are you aware of, did you do something to him? Did the mayor do something to him? Did somebody do something to him?
I know when the mayor was governor and the governor was county exec, they did not have a good relationship.
I forgot about that. That is true.
I believe that relationship has not gotten better.
But the people who supported the governor 100%, the people whose name have been put out there, are still in this city with this struggle. Do you let your bad relationship with a former governor override the fact that the people who got you in the office are still in that city? That's where I'm confused at. You politicians, I don't like y'all too much.
That's a decision that his team has to make. I wouldn't let it bother me again. I show up to every committee meeting, every council meeting. I work with people who I may not agree with every single day, on a state level, county level, local level. It's about getting things done for the people who you're supposed to represent. And at the end of the day, Wilmington is a part of the state. They both live in Wilmington, so everyone needs to come together and work together.
Well, that's going to be an interesting scenario when the time presents itself. I want to turn our attention a little bit to the budget. It's a part of the budget I do want to try to focus in on, and that is that the child care is supposed to be getting a nice advance in there, and it talked about 196. I might be wrong, but $196 million. Is that the budget, or is that they said is that going to be something in new revenue?
So it's a few things that that is included in that. That's $196 million additional funding for child care and education, right? So $100 million is a one-time supplemental infusion into our education system based upon the report of the commission, the task force that they put together about our funding system. So changing it to a more hybrid to give more flexibility to educators to what resources need to be identified and bridged for our students. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we'll see higher test scores and them start to achieve more on their educational journey, but also this includes like $26.4 million additional going in to purchase a care program, which is a program that I know the PAL accepts in many large centers. Y'all do as well too. It's a program that helps lower income families be able to pay for childcare, which is extremely expensive. And again, I know I joke about this every now and then. My grandma has a home daycare, and her prices are very affordable. And I just thought everything cost that amount. But it wasn't until I joined the board of the PAL maybe 7-8 years ago, and I heard, we had a meeting with some other boards from community centers that have child cares, and I heard their prices, and I was like, looking around the room like, who's paying this? And
people, even though you and I just talking, but people be surprised to know they're $300 and $400 and $500 per week at many centers, and we kept ours low too because we serve a lot of lower income people. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
So overall, that total is going to be $107 million in this operating budget for FY27 for purchase of care. There's also other. There's other funds that are being added. They're also changing the eligibility to 225% of the federal poverty line. So if you are making $74,000 in a 4-person household, you'll now be able to qualify for purchase of care. They're also doing a 10% raise in purchase of care, birth to 5 child care reimbursement rates as well too.
That's not bad.
So a lot of this is going to help a lot of families, but also help the centers as well too, who rely on that funding coming in to keep their doors open. Again, they're also adding in additional funds when it comes to our school system as well too. $600,000 for school wellness centers, for kindergarten oral health screenings, supportive services for children with who are deaf or hard of hearing or blind. $3 million for teacher-driven initiatives and projects. This will allow educators to request funds for classroom needs as appropriate, more flexibility there. $3.4 million to reform efforts related to standard college entrance testing. In the state of Delaware, $8 million for the Delaware Child Care and Education Alliance. This is, again, helping train our next wave of educators in the classroom. They are adding in a 3% raise for educators as well, too.
All educators are specific. What about administrators?
Educated teachers.
Okay, that's what I was hoping.
So that's a huge chunk of the budget right there. Is going to focus in on education in our pre-K in schools.
Okay. Well, I hope that it will help because it's hard to find a teacher.
Yeah.
But until they start getting some of the support services, to be very honest with you, it's not going to. Our test scores are not going to go up because there's a lot of support needed for children who have been neglected, like in the city of Wilmington, especially in the Christina School District, that they do need some support services, and we need some good leadership too. The last thing, what I'll do is I'm gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna go to the Coby Corner, and we'll continue on. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. But MDA helped her get the best treatments and care, and they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. MDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at mda.org today.
And we're back. Coby, what's going on with the Coby Corner?
Yeah, so first I want to talk about your Secretary of War and the Department of Defense and what's going on. So Pete Hegseth, who served in the military and then became a Fox News reporter, loyal Trump supporter, is serving as our defense secretary right now, and he is continuing to block black and brown and all minority officers from being promoted at the Department of Defense. And again, he is saying that it's not racism, it's just prioritizing his anti-DEI stance. And he says there's no merit if you got the position just because of your race.
But it's not like, I didn't mean to cut you off, but if you look at it, has something to do with race. It has to do with they're qualified and they are at that place where they are next in line. And I don't understand why he keeps making, because you're black, you can't do it now because that means you could probably DUI or DIE or whatever.
DEI.
DEI, yeah.
So again, and this isn't anything new. This has happened numerous times, but there was a recommended list from the Board of Senior Naval Admirals, right? That's very high-ranking Navy officers, where they have selected 22 individuals to be put on a list for potential promotion to one-star admirals, right? So again, for the Navy, this is the equivalent to Army generals and stuff like that. 1 star is the first rank, going all the way up to 5-star. We haven't had 5-star in a while, but we do have 4-star generals, right, and admirals. Of the list of 22, 9 individuals have been removed, with the vast majority of them being African American and women as well too. And again, he says that the promotion list versus those who were not removed has that says that it has to diversify the makeup of leadership to be more reflective to what America is.
He didn't say that. You just add that to the narrative.
No. They believe that there's an over-index of minority representation in leadership, which sits at about, for African Americans, sit at about 19%. And he believes it should be closer to the national population of 13% of African Americans. So again, he is again doing exactly what Trump wants.
Absolutely.
And it's sad. And they have taken this hard stance on DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Trump, when he first got in office, he came out and went after all the businesses, which led to Target losing over $3 billion in revenue in 1 year because they rolled back their DEI position, their stance. And I just want to be very clear. DEI does not mean black. Actually, most people who held DEI positions were white women.
Right. Just as affirmative action.
Correct. So again, he said that the last administration prioritized too much on race and gender than preparing the U.S. For military action if need be. Moving to the other side, from the executive branch to the judicial branch, SCOTUS, in a very quick decision, has allowed the map that was halted by a lower appellate court, a federal appellate court, to be used to eliminate a majority black district, District 2 down in Alabama, when they did their redrawing of the map after SCOTUS's decision to gut Section 2 of the VRA. And again, this court is doing nothing but stripping black voters of power or voice. And if I'm being honest, I've never seen the Supreme Court work this fast. The Supreme Court is working at a speed that Jim Crow wish they had. And it's a shame that, you know, they pretty much gave the green light for discrimination and racism to run rampant in the South. But you saw almost immediately after this decision, the Confederate states, in which why we had to pass this in the first place, to hold them accountable, almost all ran back to the drawing board to try to eliminate black voices and minority voices on a congressional level right now, because that's what they're trying to do for their president. But it's going to get worse when they start redrawing the state Senate and the state House races, or seats down there as well too.
Because it'll be more white? Correct.
You look at places like Texas, who they kicked this all off with redrawing seats for the congressional level. They didn't touch the Senate and the House. But you have heard leadership down there, the Republican leadership down there, say that they do not like the fact that they are a minority in their own state, which if you are white in Texas, you are a minority. But they hold the majority of power. So they are going to draw lines to make sure that they can hold on to as many seats as possible as they go forward.
Before you go any further, SCOTUS, for the viewers who are watching us, just could you tell me what SCOTUS is?
SCOTUS is the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
I just want to make sure they heard that. So
Which,
we're talking about the Supreme Court. Go ahead.
yes, used to be an institute of a lot of respect, an institute in which you could fall back on when the balance of power was not there. SCOTUS has been always leaning conservative. It's never really been a liberal court, but it's always been balanced, right? And usually when things got a little unbalanced, you would have the Chief Justice usually move more to one side or the other to try to rebalance it. But since Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell were able to steal 2 seats on the Supreme Court and create a 6-3 majority, you have a Chief Justice who has made it his life mission to completely gut the Voting Rights Act. This is what you get.
Yeah.
This is what you get. This is why voting is so important for people in 2016 who said, oh, I don't like Clinton because I can't trust her. The same people who said they can't trust Kamala Harris, it almost sounds like you just can't trust women. Why is this? What are they going to do for me? What are they going to do for me? Everything that is happening right now, that extra money you're paying for rent, that extra money that you're paying at the stores, that inflation, the gas, all of it is because you didn't go out and vote. And I want to be very clear about that.
Yeah.
If you look at the gas prices, oh, well, y'all said the president doesn't change the gas prices. Not directly, but indirectly, they do have an impact on it. Why is our gas more expensive right now? Because right now in America, we have 4 mine sweepers. What is that? That's ships that can sweep mines that are in the water, right? Well, Coby, we have one of the largest military budgets in the world. We have one of the largest militaries in the world. Why do we only have 4? We only have 4 because we have focused on building everything else in our military and relied on the hundreds and hundreds of minesweepers that our allies had, right? That was a part of, okay, you take care of building minesweepers, we'll build a strong military, and we'll be there to support you, and you'll be there to support us. But when you have a president that goes around and says, F you, to all our allies, saying we're going to make Canada the 51st state and take them over because their leadership's horrible, go after French and UK and Norway and want to invade NATO allies like Greenland. Well, guess what? Now when you need their minesweepers, now we need something from them. What are they going to say? Nah, it's cool. You got it. You can do it, big dog. So now we're struggling to clear the mines in the Strait of Hamas, which is making our gas prices go up because it's more expensive for us to get gas out of that area. When you look at Donald Trump sitting there with all his billionaire friends, the Waltons from Walmart, all these billionaire friends that he put a tariff tax on, knowing that they was going to sue, they sued, even though he promised everyone a $5,000 tariff tax because we had to pay more because of these taxes. That's all tariffs are, taxes. Fancy word for it. It has now come back that, oh, that tariff that I put on was illegal. So now I got to repay that money. But who paid the money? Not the businesses. Yeah, they paid the tax, but they passed that on to the consumers.
So those consumers.
So who gets the money back? Oh, the businesses.
So the rich get richer.
So the rich get richer.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're keeping the prices at the same level.
And that's what I was going to try to jump in and say. The prices are at the same level, and in some cases higher.
You know why they're keeping it at the same level? You had a CEO come out and say, well, if people could pay it, well, why not keep it that level? That's what him and his friends think. So then when you come back and say, what is wrong with America? Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth says DEI. This is all DEI's fault. It's because we have too many minorities in leadership. I'm sorry, didn't you fire all of them? Didn't you come in and say DEI is dead? January 20th, 2025. It's 2026. These are your people in charge. The reason and justification that they're using to gut the VRA is because, it's not really reflective of America. Prices are high because we have black people in office.
And planes fall out of the sky because a black person was flying it. And they just blame us for everything. Remember that thing that happened in Washington? They said it was a black person who did it. It's a shame that we're living in such a racist time. And people are not calling it out to the level they need to. But I don't think they really care. I think, you know what I think? I think when Biden had those monuments taken down, they said all game off. We just gonna wear our hoods and we just gonna make sure if we ever get back in, we're gonna destroy America.
Yep.
And that's exactly
what's happening.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening. But we as a country are in a sad place right now.
Yeah.
And I know we will overcome this. I know we will come out stronger because that's what we do, especially our community, because we've been here before. It's a new day. It's a new generation, but we've been here before. We know how to survive because we do it every single day.
That's what we do.
We are the most hated people, but loved culture. Everyone wants to be black. Everyone wants a little bit of our soul and our flavor, our music, our dance, our food.
Yeah.
They just don't want our skin color.
No, they want our skin color too. They don't want to be subservient.
They go buy it at the tanning salon.
There you go, because they want the color. That's right.
But that's what we're dealing with right now in America. And I guess Trump couldn't buy his at a tanning salon, so he had to get his out the can.
Orange.
But, we have to keep fighting. I know there's organizations who are fighting on the court side of things, but people have to wake up.
Yeah.
And I know I have been very vocal. I'm a member of the DNC. I've been very vocal about the DNC saying every election, this is the most important election of your lifestyle. You can't keep saying that. You can't keep crying wolf because people get tired. The messaging has to change. People want to talk about affordability. What is affordability? Me and you may know what affordable is. We may be able to break down AMI versus federal poverty line and what those different percentages make. But former Governor Roy Cooper down in North Carolina, running for U.S. Senate, I was meeting with his team, and his team said, we told him to talk about affordability because that's what Manani did in New York, and that's how he won. But New York is a very urban setting. It's different when you have rural parts of your state. And Roy Cooper said, yeah, that's good, but how many people can actually define what affordable is? So he's on, let's bring the prices down tour. I think everyone can associate with that, right? Yeah. Everyone wants to pay less for everything. Yeah. And I have never seen so many rural, independent, even Republican voters resonate with a Democratic message like it is right now. And we just have to get out of our own way of thinking. We don't have to do everything so proper. A report came back and said people feel as though when their politician cusses, it's more natural, it's more authentic. And then everyone started cussing. It almost like the little kid, you say, all right, yeah, you can say one cuss word and they just say all of them, right? It's almost like you're forcing it. If it's natural how you talk, let it be natural. But don't try to force it into your speech. Don't try to force it into how you're trying to connect with people. When we're talking about 2026 and we're talking about how important these elections are, the black vote, the black voice is the most important voice right now. And if it wasn't, you wouldn't have the top tier levels of government trying to dilute it. But we have to come together as a community. And we truly have to have a conversation that says, this is what we want to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And until we can all get on the same page and stop fighting one another, we're not going to be able to get it done.
And I think that's the greatest comments you could make, and that is until we get together and we start working together and stop fighting each other, because we fighting over peanuts when there's much more available that could be available. I think this is going to be the election of the century. And even though it's midterms, it's going to say a whole lot about America. And, you know, when we come back, we're going to talk about the gerrymandering and what was missed and whatever. But I'm really concerned, Coby, that we've allowed this orange man to really destroy this country. Not only to destroy this country, but to make it racist where it's legal again.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really hitting at. With the Supreme Court making the decisions that the Supreme Court is making at this point. And, you know, this whole birthright thing, y'all don't forgot about that. But that's still coming up within the next couple of days. Within the next couple of days, they're going to make a decision on whether or not Donald Trump can allow people who were born in this country but not from this country. I don't understand that. We all immigrants.
Right.
But I just don't understand his thinking. But if you were born in this country and your parents are not, then you will not be deemed as an American. I don't know where how he even could bring that forward, but he did. And I want to see what the Supreme Court going to do. And if they do that, then I know we might as well just go ahead and go. I don't know where I would go, because I'm not from Africa. I mean, I'm from Africa. I'm a descendant of it. But where would I go? Do you know what country I can go to?
I have no clue.
Okay. Well,
No clue.
we may have to start figuring that out.
Get out of here, though, according to Trump. But, you know, that's one last thing I wanted to talk about on a local level is Clean Slate.
Okay.
And again, since the bill passed here, there's been a lot of backlog. But
well, as Jay Street would always say, tell me a little bit about Clean Slate first.
Yes. Clean Slate is a process, an initiative to clear low-level offenses from people's records, so that, you know, they can get on with their lives. And this, again, people's records such as petty theft, small drug possession, without requiring individuals to have to file all these petitions and pay all these fees. You know, other records are eligible after 3 to 10 years, depending on what your charges are. They have been trying to clear a ton of these cases. It's 25,000 charges with 16,869 cases altogether. So they have been trying to work through these cases and everything, but they have done the first wave of them. Almost 6,400 of those cases have now been officially cleared, with those charges being cleared. So that's 6,400 people who now have an opportunity to apply for a new job, housing, or whatsoever here in the state of Delaware. So,
and it's not noted, so nobody can see it.
Correct. It's completely cleared off your record.
Okay, because that's going to be important, because, you know, sometimes they have the secret records.
Right.
You know, she did this and she did that, and it's still there. But I'm glad that it's there. But the only problem I'm not glad about is that there's a backlog.
Yeah.
Whenever it come down to the poor, whenever it come down to the minorities, they are the ones seeking this assistance, and they are the ones who we'll get to it when we can. And I think that's just so unfair. We're going to see how it all turned out. Coby, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, Donald Trump decided to go to this gerrymandering to another level. He's telling states to change their maps, and they did it. We were thinking that we were going to be able to have some gain. They do it, we do it. We did some California, we did this, we did that. But he's still winning by about 11. When we come back, let's talk about it. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Join us live for our weekly worship. On Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
And we're back. Coby, as I had shared, Donald Trump put together this plan that we didn't think was going to succeed, but we did know that he was going to try to get a couple states to change their maps. He even got some people put out of office when they didn't go along with it. I think that was South Carolina, I believe it was, wasn't it?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. So he got them put out of office, and so people were so afraid of him. But when you look at what we did, which was Los Angeles, well, not Los Angeles, but California. And was there any other states change their map?
Virginia changed their maps, but the same Supreme Court that just allowed it down in Alabama came back and ruled, the federal side of things, ruled that those maps can't be used because they discriminate.
But the other maps can?
Yes.
Wow. Well, he's about 11 up. You had shared at one time, and I have the tapes to verify this, that we will probably win by 25 seats. Do you think dynamics have changed to the level where even with his 11, we won't be able to probably take the House, or we will?
I think that we'll still take the House. I don't think it'll be by that much now. I think it'll be a very slim margin. I would predict us holding the house or winning the House by like 5 to 7 seats right now, with some of those seats that they thought they was going to pick up, holding because they have long-term people running like Marcy in Ohio. But I don't see us winning by huge margins right now, just because of how they redrawn the maps.
Yeah. Now, do you think any of those maps can backfire?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think in Ohio, in Texas, that some of those maps will backfire. I know one of the reasons why some of the South Carolina Republicans chose not to redraw their map is because they feared that if they technically got rid of Jim Clyburn's seat by breaking it up into 3 different districts, that 2 of those districts would be in play, and you may create 2 new Democrats down there instead of just having the one. So they were very nervous about doing that, so they left it alone and left the one in place and kept their maps the way it is.
Now, what about the Senate? Do you think that the Senate is still in play, not in play, might be in play?
The Senate's definitely in play.
Oh, really?
I think the Senate is in play more than what people are thinking it is. When you look at where we are, Donald Trump has endorsed and his person won in Texas, which puts us in a very good standing. You have John Cornyn leaving because he lost his primary. So Kim Passon versus James Tellerico is a very good standing for Democrats.
Now, because he's a vegan, or does that mean, because they say they like steak down there in Texas, will that really make the majority of the Texans not like him?
It will, but there's videos of him eating meat years before and currently, so it disproves the fact.
Oh, so he's not a vegan?
No.
Oh, so I'm a see how this they even, I thought he was a vegan.
No, they want to push that out there, and it all comes from, I think he was asked the question, is anything wrong with being a vegan? He said no. But yeah, no, he has eaten meat before, and he regularly eats meat. So again, they're just trying to use whatever. You have Tom Tillis, who's retired because he knew if he didn't retire, Trump was going to come after him no matter what, which has allowed us to pit the most popular governor at the time that he retired, Roy Cooper, up for U.S. Senate down there. And Roy Cooper,
that's North Carolina, right?
North Carolina, okay. Is running an amazing campaign down there. In Minnesota is a seat that we're looking to hold. With Tina Smith, the former lieutenant governor and now senator, retiring. The current lieutenant governor is running for that seat, and she has a ton of energy behind her. In Montana, They just had their primary the other day where the Democrat who won was the Democrat who said she would drop out and let the independent candidate who is running, who is very popular, run. That person is backed by former U.S. Senator John Tester, the Democratic senator out there.
Now, is that independent leaning?
He would lean Democrat, yes.
And she's agreed to that. That's awesome.
In Iowa, they just nominated Joe Turk to be the nominee for U.S. Senate out there. He is a paraplegic Olympian who is very well liked as well too. But then also Ohio, Senator Sherrod Brown is up in polls by 8% right now in making his return bid to the U.S. Senate. So again, we have seats that are in play. One of my favorite people when she was in the House, Mary Portola, is running on a platform of fish, family, and freedom in Alaska, something that may not work in Delaware.
It'll work in Alaska.
But it'll work in Alaska.
Family and freedom. I like that.
And she is doing well with fundraising and polling out there. And
she's running against
Dan Sullivan. Now that race is going to be interesting because there's two Dan Sullivans in the race. One an independent, one the incumbent Republican senator. The Republican senator is trying to sue to get him off the ballot, saying it's going to confuse people. But hey,
that could be God's doing.
Yes, anyone can run.
Yeah.
So, it's very interesting to see how this is all going to play out. John Ossoff down in Georgia is running to hold his seat.
I believe he'll be all right, don't you
think? Keisha Lance Bottoms and the whole slate down there is doing amazing.
Gonna
I think Keisha will have a very good chance. It's going to be a close election no matter what.
Yeah.
But I think she can probably squeak it out, especially with John being on the...
What are some of her deficiencies that you've heard? Not that you're saying, but what are the Republicans trying to draw against her?
She's a black woman. She's a woman and she's black.
Yeah.
And, they're trying to say she's woke, that she's a DEI pick, and things like that. They really cannot get her on anything. They try to say that when she was mayor of Atlanta, she did a horrible job, but Atlanta was the economic hub and grew so much revenue into Georgia that it allowed Georgia to sustain its state budget year over year for Brian Kemp. So again, she did a very good job as mayor of Atlanta. So we'll see what happens.
And what is Brian Kemp doing?
He is retiring. He chose not to run for U.S. Senate down there. I could see him trying to run for president in 2028, though.
That'll be interesting. So the way we looking right now, we do feel that you're leaning towards both houses will come Democrat, but you're not in a certain place.
I feel better about the Senate than I do the House right now.
Really? That's a shift in your opinion.
It is a shift.
Yeah.
But I think we do have a chance. Both are in play now.
I really want that House, though.
Yes.
Because that controls that White House, too. I mean, they can hold them accountable by having, several houses and in a budget.
Well, the Senate can stop any Supreme Court nomination as well, too. But who knows? If they lose the Senate in November, they may try to put someone on the Supreme Court between November and January the 3rd. So, we'll see.
But to reform it, maybe the Lord will give us 60. Well, he would have to sign it, right? He would have to sign it. Well, listen, I believe that we got to be like them. To give the Republicans credit, they believe in patience. They take their time, because when we were talking off the air, you were sharing how the Supreme Court Justice, what's his name, the head guy for the Supreme Court? Roberts. I didn't know he was against voter rights, but he kept it quiet and he just stayed consistent until he needed to be able to use it. Same with McConnell. How do you say his name?
McConnell.
He wanted to shift the Supreme Court, and he did it in his own time. So I think if we have a little patience, we're going to be fine. It's going to take us a little bit of time to get us back to normal. But the way they have really gutted civil rights, the way they have gutted the voter rights, it's going to take some time to get it right. But I hope we stay focused.
Yes.
Even if we have a small majority, I think we need to stay focused and not fight each other so that we'll be able to get some things done that needs to be done. This is just really interesting. So this is a better day for you, because you were, at last week, you were like, I don't think we're going to do too well. We might do something in the House. But now you lead more on that Senate side. I'm still in the same opinion I was when we first started. We will have both of them. I'm of that opinion. We will have both of them, and then in another 2 years after that, we'll have the White House. Now, what we do is going to matter.
Yeah.
It's going to matter. And I think we're going to hold them accountable. And that's why Democrats do hold each other accountable much differently than the Republicans do. So we should be fine. Coby, is there anything else you got on your plate today?
That's all I have for today.
Well, let me just say real quickly, before I let you go, thank you so very much to the community. We had our Spring Fling 2026 last week. Man, it was awesome. It was just unbelievable. I hope we get a chance, if not in this show. Matter of fact, you will get a chance in this show to see commercial highlights of You Missed It. It was just phenomenal, and I hope that you get a chance to join us when we start our summer sizzle. It's getting ready to happen in August, and we're going to bring in some powerful preachers. Coby, if there is nothing else that you have, then I just want to say to everybody, thank you, and see you later.
Take care, y'all.
You've been watching The Sword with host Dr. C.T. Curry and co-host Coby Owens. Tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes.
I heard a still small voice that said, who can we send? Who will go for us to these clubs? And I said, God, send me. I'll go.
Our Spring Fling week was one for the books. All the food, events, comedy, and fellowship blended in a way that brought us all great joy and memories to last. It was an open invitation for all of us to come together, do away with our concerns, and enjoy each other's company, aided by entertainment, celebration, a litany of good meals, friendly competition, commencement, and of course, the worship experience.
My joy is not circumstantial. It is eternal and deeply rooted. So even if I'm in hard times, I can still sing. I can still dance. I can still wave my hand. I can still show up when I don't feel like it. I can still pray when I don't have the words to say.
All of our comedians were phenomenal and had us falling out of our seats, each in their own right giving us a healthy dose of laughter for the soul.
Nobody has ever seen anything like this before. They've never seen it. I did some stuff I wasn't supposed to do, but let's say the last couple months of my life, I got myself together, and the world come to an end, and I'm up in heaven. I know there's gonna be some up there talking about, mad, because well, why he here,
Amen. Pastor got a cup? I'm trying. One more time, Pastor got a cup? I'm trying. Now let's take it up. Oh, I want juice. I want juice. I want juice. I want juice.
Even Pastor Curry, inspired by it all, hopped in on the fun.
Pastor got a cup. You trying to see what's up? You ain't getting none.
But beyond the jokes and beyond the shows, between the cookout on Monday, the brunch and community basketball game on Saturday, and the services and luncheon on Sunday, what shined the brightest wasn't any one person. It was the entire community. And I think it's safe to say that we're all better for it. On behalf of Pastor Curry and the E. Zion Fair Baptist Church family, to all who came and participated, thank you, thank you, thank you. This was a week we'll be talking about for a long while. And if somehow you couldn't make any of our events, the next time you hear about something new going down at Zion Fair, make sure you're the first in line to sign up. You won't regret it. After all, we are Wilmington's most exciting church.